exceptionally good. So I personally feel this is a right partnership model for these three states, two states to work together. Another very important data point I want to give it to our friends from Karnataka is this: try this Virginia, Maryland, Washington together accounts for 50-60% of US defense and aerospace. Since I'm actually involved in that area, I encourage you to look at something because Karnataka is a technology capital of India and also a very strong player in defense aerospace. You should look at some areas to work together. What form of working, I leave it to you, whether it's a joint ventures or MOUs, those all the teams to work out. But at a macro level, I'm extremely confident this partnership will be ideal between these two states in US and Karnataka, and it will kind of set up a benchmark for other states in India as well as other states in US to work together. And as far as our role of US India SME Council is, it's very simple. We are a platform, provide communication, contacts, relationships, people together. Okay, and we continue to play that role with Elisha sitting in US, who has been a part of US government for almost 3 decades, and he knows a lot of people because personally I met at least about 10 senators, congressmen in US and Washington in last 3 years before COVID when I traveled extensively. So I strongly recommend and encourage all of you to work together to create something which is time lasting, which will be tested even 10 years later. We have done something great for Karnataka state as well as Indiana and Virginia. With these few words, I would like to welcome you all and wish you all the best. Elisha, back to you. Rajan.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, and wonderful remarks. And Bangalore is a Silicon Valley city of India, they call. It's a beautiful city, I tell you. I mean, it used to be a beautiful. Now it is really growing and changing every day. And the best leaders operates in 4 dimensions: vision, reality, ethics, and courage are the key factors. It's my pleasure to introduce our moderator, who is a dynamic, a powerful person in Washington capital region, Dr. Rajan Natarajan. I had a privilege to meet him. I met him in 2003 or 4 when he moved from Michigan to Washington region. Dr. Rajan Natarajan is an American politician, a civic leader, a scientist, innovator, an entrepreneur, and senior management executive. His passion is always technology, and innovation, entrepreneurship, and public service. Dr. Raj is to serve the best interest of SMEs, to foster, to promote, and build public-private business partnership collaborations. Dr. Rajan has created history in Maryland by becoming the first Indian American to be appointed to a sub-cabinet level position by Governor Martin O'Malley as a deputy secretary of state, which is equivalent to deputy Indian world. Commissioner to station in Maryland for the last 4 years. Now he is the founding chairman and chief executive officer of Global Alliance. He is also currently serving on many boards that include board member, Maryland Chamber of Commerce, Board of Visitors, University of Maryland, executive member, Maryland Governor's Cybersecurity. He has a PhD and MBA, and he's a good friend of and supporter of US India SME. My pleasure. an honor to invite Dr. Rajan Natarajan as a moderator of this morning series of US-India partnership and collaborations. Dr. Rajan Natarajan.
Good morning, everyone. Good evening in India for Indian friends. Good to see you all today. Elisha, thank you so much for your kind introduction. We certainly want to recognize you for your outstanding leadership and hard work for the past 20 years in strengthening US and India relationship together in the space of business partnership. Also, thank you profoundly for inviting wonderful speakers today. Friends, it is my great honor to be a moderator of this important panel on state-to-state business partnership meet that include state of Virginia, state of Indiana, with state of Karnataka in India. Its main focus is on potential investment and business partnership among these vibrant states. I would greatly appreciate the speakers now who are not speaking put on mute because I'm hearing some background noise. Can you please? That'll be great. That'll be great. Well, this is a remarkable event which brought amazing leaders like Elisha and Mr. Sudhakar Gande highlighted already, bring a lot of policymakers, and political leaders, and diplomats, together today that include Honorable Dr. Ashwath Narayan, Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka, and Honorable Jim Schellinger, Secretary of Commerce, State of Indiana, Honorable David Board, National Director, U.S. Department of Commerce, and Mr. Sudhakar Gande, Co-Chair of FICCI, and also not the least, Honorable Victor Hoskins, President, CEO of Fairfax County Economic Development Authority in Virginia. I would deeply thank the US-India SME Council, Chairman Mr. Sudhakar Gande, and the CEO Elisha Privarti, who made this event possible today. I believe this is about fifth virtual panel discussion summit. They are doing a terrific job. I'm really, really happy to be part of this organization and associating with these leaders. Well, we have more than I think about 50 participants across from the US and India for this event. A couple of information I want to share with you. Please hold on all your questions until the speakers finish it. Then there will be a question and answer session that will open up. Then Melvin can facilitate, hearing your questions. You can also text me through the chat box. I want to once again request you kindly, please put on mute right now. If you are not speaking, that will be very helpful for the speaker who is speaking. Well, now let us get started our program. Let me introduce our first speaker, Honorable Victor Hoskins, President and CEO of Fairfax County Economic Development. As many of you know that Victor was the principal driver of bringing Amazon headquarters to our region. It is one of his mega successes. Of course, he is working on few other Fortune 500 companies. He's trying to bring more companies towards this region. We are truly blessed to have a leader like Victor. Of course, he is an outstanding champion for many economic development projects brought into this region. He brings more than 25 years of experience in economic development and executive leadership. In the past, he served in the Maryland cabinet as the Secretary of Housing and the DC government as the Deputy Mayor. He is also a great supporter of the US-India Council and spoke at the council even several times in the past. He is going to talk about potential investment and trading opportunities in Virginia, particularly in the state, in the county of Fairfax. Honorable Victor Hoskins, I want to welcome you.
Thank you, Rajan. I think I'm getting some feedback. People may have to mute. How about now? Does it sound okay? Very good. My name is Victor Hoskins. I'm the president and CEO of Fairfax County Economic Development. And it is my honor to be part of this occasion today. I want to thank Elijah and Rajan, Julie Natandi, and also Dr. Gandhi for really actually putting this program together. I want to thank the participants from Karnataka who are up right now, late at night. We really appreciate that. You may not know, but since 2005, Fairfax County Economic Development has had 2 offices in India, one in Bangalore, in your capital, which we are quite pleased to have. We meet with them every Monday virtually to talk about business development and opportunities. What I'd like to do this morning and this evening to our friends in India is to give you an overview of our organization and a little bit of information about our county itself. One thing that you should know about our county is that it is the center of economic development for the DC region. I want to pull up a presentation real quick. Can you see that? Everyone see that?
Yes, yes, Victor,
Great.
I can see it.
Fantastic. So the location. So we are located right next to Washington, D.C. If you look at the map, you see D.C., Reagan Airport. Actually, Reagan Airport is in Fairfax County. As you can see, we're in the Washington, D.C. area on the eastern seaboard. One of the things that has been pretty amazing about the region in the last couple of years in Northern Virginia region and Virginia itself is the growth in technology. The population of Virginia is 8.5 million. And the population of the DC region, which Northern Virginia is part of, where Fairfax is about 6 million. But the amazing thing is that during the last couple of years, we have had incredible growth in technology. As you see from this graphic, Amazon Web Services, Google, Facebook, Microsoft have all opened up facilities here in the last 18 months. As a matter of fact, Microsoft's 400,000 square foot, which is about 40,000 square meters, is just announced recently hiring 1,500 employees. So we're very proud of our history in technology and our growing reputation in technology. You may have heard earlier from Elijah that I was involved in the attraction of Amazon second global headquarters, which will have 37,000 employees. The majority of those employees will live in Northern Virginia, where Fairfax County is. As a matter of fact, a third of the employees will be coming from Fairfax County. The reason why is that Fairfax County has a highly educated population. As a matter of fact, 60% of the individuals in Fairfax County have bachelor's degrees or better. It's one of the highest concentration of advanced degrees in the country. In addition to that, we have the second highest concentration of tech workers, second only to Silicon Valley. It's one of the reasons why Amazon decided to locate in Northern Virginia. And one thing that we're very proud of is last year, we were ranked #1 by the most well-known and most quality business rating agency, CNBC. I don't know how many of you get CNBC in India, but it's where you get the majority of the business news about our markets in the United States. We were ranked #1 last year for business climate and for growth, and we're very excited about that. Next slide. And as you can see from this slide, this is kind of not kind of our downtown, it is our downtown for the county. Our county is 400 square miles, and in the middle of our downtown is a place called Tysons. And in Tysons, we have incredible companies like Booz Allen, Deloitte, Hilton, Capital One, Ernst Young, Intel, and we've been quite proud of the growth of these companies. And part of the reason they've grown so well is that we are a very stable economy. Our tax rate is 6%. It has been 6%. Corporate tax rate has been 6% for the last 5 decades. Our bond rating at the bond agencies has been AAA for the last 48 years. And for the state of Virginia, it's been AAA for over 80 years. Very stable economy. Another thing that we do that really our companies love is that we invest in education. About 50% of the county budget goes directly into education. We have some of the highest ranked high schools in the country, and actually we had the #1 high school, Thomas Jefferson High School of Math and Science, recently ranked. So we're very pleased with the growth of those companies. I mean those schools. These are some of the Northern Virginia assets that we're very proud of. We have business centers. We have an internet hub. As a matter of fact, 70% of all the internet traffic for the world flows through Northern Virginia. 70% of all the internet traffic of the world flows through Northern Virginia. If you want to access high-speed internet, this is the place to be. As a matter of fact, right now, under development and construction, we have more cloud computing centers going up in Loudoun County, which is part of Northern Virginia, than any place else on the North American continent. We have a fast-growing Asian Indian population. As a matter of fact, about 40,000. We have a very resilient economy because we're diversified. We not only have the growing technology companies, but we also have the government. And finally, what I'd like to say is that we have a welcoming environment. We have a place where everyone is really welcome. One of the advantages to our location is that we're near 185 embassies. They're right across the river in Washington, D.C. So whenever we want to reach out to a country, we can get in a car and just drive over there or get in an Uber. That's probably the only place in the world that you could do that. We welcome the opportunity to have you come and visit. And you can visit virtually. We're arranging virtual visits now. So that's one of the things that we'd love to do. I'll end with this. I've been talking a lot about Northern Virginia, and I've talked a lot about Virginia itself, but let me speak a little bit about the region as I close. We have over 60 universities in this region. It has about 400,000 students enrolled. We graduate about 100,000 students every year. And in those graduations, there are technical degrees as well as marketing degrees and very, very creative people. The guy that created Oculus Rift graduated from the University of Maryland, College Park. It's a proud engineering school of our region, and they continue to put out great engineers. As a matter of fact, one of the founders of Google graduated from University of Maryland, College Park. Of course, we have Johns Hopkins here, Georgetown, George Washington University, University of Virginia, Virginia Tech, George Mason University. Look, if you want some talent, this is the place to come, and we will help you find that talent. We actually help our companies today find talent through a series of virtual career fairs, and it's one of the free services that we provide. And with that, I'd like to close with our goal is really to do our greatest work every day, and I hope that this was my greatest work today. Thank you very much for your time, and we appreciate you listening.
Thank you, Victor, for our great success and sharing these amazing stories of Virginia and Fairfax County. In fact, I know Virginia is emerging as a Silicon Valley 2.0 of this region. So amazing. There's a huge synergy between Virginia and Karnataka state, because any Fortune 500 companies, they want to have the global leg outside of US, they go to Karnataka. So there's a huge synergy that your office and Karnataka Chief Minister's office and Karnataka government definitely will sit down and talk about this synergy for working together in the both states. Thank you, Victor. It's a great facts and feedback. Okay, well, now let us invite our second speaker, Honorable Jim Schellinger. I think he's here. Let me check. Oh, he's here. Okay, very good.
I'm here.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Jim.
It didn't unmute.
Yeah, he's the Secretary of Commerce of the great state of India. He has been serving as a cabinet member of. There is still background noise. I appreciate. Put somebody mute. Hello.
Hello, Jim's on. I'm on.
Yeah, I think Jim, could you please put in the mute? I'm getting echo. Can you, Jim, put on mute? Very good. Thank you. So, Secretary Schellinger has been serving as a cabinet member of Governor Eric Holcomb and leading the state domestic and international economic development. Secretary Schellinger previously served as the president of Indiana Economic Development Corporation under Governor Mike Pence. Of course, you all know that who is the current Vice President of the United States. He is the most accomplished Secretary of Commerce in Indiana in driving investment and trade to the state of Indiana and growing business partnership globally. In fact, I know the Secretary Schellinger through a common friend, Dr. Raju Jindala. He's also a good friend of Elisha Pulivarti. We met a few times in a van, Washington, D.C., and I found that he is an amazing, amazing leader. And he's also, we met in New Delhi, India, last November during his trade mission to India. US-India and SME Council hosted the reception, the trade mission reception for them in New Delhi. He's a great person and a great friend of Indian Americans. Now let us welcome Secretary Schellinger. Secretary, now you have the mic.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Gandhi. What a pleasure to see you. You look good throughout all this ordeal we've been going through, and I really appreciate being with all the esteemed colleagues on the phone call today, in addition to many of which have already spoken, and I certainly appreciated the remarks from the Honorable Victor Hoskins. So it's been a challenging time for everybody, especially our friends in India, as well as our Indian businesses here in Indiana, and certainly the overall Indiana and our country as a whole, given the pandemic. As you know, Mr. Gandhi, our governor is a very amazing person. A lot of people refer sometimes to our governor and they'll say, you know, he is such a regular guy. And I'll say to them, just recently, I'll say, well, you know, he'd appreciate that. And that's how he'd like you to think of him. But the reality of he is anything but a regular guy. His deep feelings and care for people, his genuineness in terms of how he feels and how he acts and how he leads. He takes credit for nothing at all. He takes responsibility for everything. And as you know, Mr. Gandhi, having spent some time with him, he takes responsibility for everything. Everything that's not good is his fault. And so you can imagine this COVID time has been very stressful for the governor, because this is his watch, and he believes this is happening on his watch. And so every time I see him, I have to say, you know, Governor, this was not your fault. It's nobody's fault. I mean, this is from our higher power. And we've been sent a message, I think, in some ways from our higher power to say, you know, there's some things more important than what we have normally believe and what we work toward. Hopefully, my goal has always been, Mr. Gandhi and others on the call, is I've said I really, really hope that when we exit out of this COVID situation and pandemic, I hope we do so as a kinder, gentler global community. Very much the way that we are here in Indiana with Hoosiers, with our Indian friends. I've been to India 4 times now. I cannot tell you how greatly I miss it. In being grounded during this time, I have not been able to travel out of the country by, you know, travel restrictions. However, I do talk to everybody. In the wee hours of the morning, I try to make phone calls with everybody I possibly can, really just to see how people are doing, making sure they're healthy, they're safe, getting through this pandemic. Because also, in addition, for all the people on the phone today, in addition to the pandemic, which is a major health crisis, worldwide health crisis, we're also dealing with an economic crisis, which is the fallout of the pandemic. And then now in America, for those of you that are here know this all too well, we're dealing with a civil discord crisis in terms of equal rights and some other things. So we really have the 3 things going that are very, very challenging, very, very serious issues that require a lot of clear thinkers. The governor recently said, and it was interesting, he comes up with some of these things from time to time. He's a historian. He loves history, so he'll quote a lot of people in history. His favorites are Abraham Lincoln and Martin Luther King and President John Kennedy. But he'll quote people, but he always gives credit to who he quotes. But one day he did press briefings on the COVID virus, and he was doing them every day, and then 3 days a week, then 2, and now he does them on Wednesday. And one day I was presenting with him, so I was at the head table. All the rest of the task force, of which I'm a part of, sit behind the cameras in case we're needed for a question or something. But he said this phrase, and afterwards I looked at him and I said, did you, is that original? He goes, what? I go, did you quote somebody on what you said? And he said, I don't even remember what I said. He said, no, I didn't quote anybody. What's your point? I said, well, you said, which I think is an amazing quote. He said, the magnitude, because this again more relates to the civil discord. He said, the magnitude of your voice does not increase the validity of your cause. And I thought, wow, um, that was really empowering, impactful, because we're in times that people of different countries, people of different backgrounds, different ethnic groups need to sit and talk through these things and be serious about it and focus, not be violent, not be a rebellion or a rioter. And we'll get through it. We'll figure it out together. But then, of course, as everything happens, and this is a perfect segue into our MOU with Karnataka. What matters is not, as we all agree, I know on this call, it's not the ceremonies, having meetings, having visits to show respect for one another. That's fabulous, and I'm always have been very committed to that my whole career. But the most important thing is what you do after you leave that meeting, what you do after you sign that MOU to put it into action. So I'll talk about that briefly. But as you guys know, the governor and the first lady have traveled to India twice. It's one of our favorite places to go. We are now one of the top 5 states in America for Indian businesses and investment here. So we're very proud of that. And we continue to be a state that continues to aim higher, as Governor Holcomb says, take everything to the next level. And his he calls it back on track plan, which is where we're focused on opening non-essential businesses or businesses that chose to shut down during the pandemic. It's a race analogy, back on track. And I always say that, the beauty of that analogy is that I told the governor when we talked about it, I said, I love it, but Governor, we never stop racing. We'll race this weekend. We will race here on Sunday, the late Indianapolis 500. They'll do so without fans in the crowd, which is very interesting and different for Indianapolis. The race has only been canceled maybe 2-3 times during World War II. So to have it without having fans and to have it in August versus May is a big deal. But I told him, I said, Governor, our economy never shut down. Everybody says this, and I know they don't mean it deeply like I take it. It's we shut down. When are we going to reopen the economy? We hear that on a national, we hear it on an international level. Well, I told the governor, I like your back on track plan because we never stopped racing. We continued to log laps that counted. We just did so under a yellow flag with our non-essential businesses closing down. But in spite of those closures, temporary closures, we still had over 2 million people working in the state of Indiana, albeit some from home. But our economy is alive and well. Being the #1 intensive manufacturing, advanced manufacturing state in America, our manufacturing actually increased, did not decrease. There's an economist from Indiana University that claims that our manufacturing industry just pummeled. Well, he sits in front of a textbook too much. And no offense to anyone here that's a PhD teacher or whatever, but that did not happen. In fact, our manufacturing companies are booming. The only niche we had, or I should say slight setback we had, was Mexico did not consider automobile industry an essential business, so our supply chain was delayed a little bit. But you can imagine our RV industry, 80% of the RVs, some driving around the streets of India, they're made in northern Indiana, which is the RV capital of the world. 80% of the RVs in the world are made in northern Indiana in Elkhart County. And so their orders have been off the charts because people want to get outside. They want to do things with their family, which they can do in a responsible social distancing like manner amongst other people. But at any rate, our manufacturing has done great. Our aerospace and defense continues to be booming because we always have defense spending that can come to our state in many, many ways to help not only Indiana, but America, and not only America, but the whole world to make it a safer place. Our agribusiness, obviously that's an outdoor business that's been doing just fine. Some of the trade things have been down, mainly or specifically with China. A lot of our farmers do business with China for obvious reasons. Life sciences has been doing just fine. Life sciences, there's always going to be a need for that human activity. Our hospitals, as every hospital and every first responder in the world is busier than they would like to be. And we still have not seen any kind of lull in our infrastructure and transportation logistics arena. It's all been great, including railroad. So, and of course, information technology. And we have the unparalleled emphasis and we have Wipro, we have Salesforce, we have Aperio. We have these companies that, because of these very companies, we are able to have people work from home. I can't imagine this back when I started my career in 1984. You couldn't work at home. You know, you had no computers. There was nothing like that, which makes me feel really old. But we didn't have any of that stuff. And so today, people are able to be effective at home. Most of the IDC staff is working from home, which is, I really feel for them. I'm so thankful for them and thankful for their productivity, because when you work from home, and I know we have some major executives on this phone call from the US-India SME, most of us on this phone call have probably had a home office forever. We probably work from home quite a bit because our jobs and our roles call for that. Almost a 24-hour readiness, and 24-hour. If you're not working at somewhere at home, you're thinking about it somewhere at home. So at any rate, we've now asked our folks to merge their place of refuge, their home, with their business. And that's not easy for a lot of people to do. And so we really appreciate them and all they're doing. But we still remain a low regulatory state. We still remain low tax state. You're all aware of that. A very attractive business environment. We went into this pandemic with $2.4 billion in the bank and a AAA credit rating. We were ready for a storm, albeit nobody ever imagined it would be an economic downturn based on the pandemic. But we were prepared. We've done well as a state because of that preparedness, because of our low debt and our AAA credit rating. We'll retain that AAA credit rating. The governor's very committed to that, as well as a reserve, $1 billion minimum in reserves, cash reserves, and our AAA credit rating. So all that's good. We're still this, the center of the country, the heart of the heartland, and we still have all the things going for us, whether it's FedEx or whether it's the Indianapolis International Airport, which was just named for the 8th straight time as the #1 airport. Our ports are doing great in shipping, as most of you know. If you go to order something on eBay or Amazon, or you want to order supplies for your businesses, most of you know you're slowed in that regard. So logistics is being called upon to help bridge that gap. Obviously, our colleges and universities are touch and go as it relates to in-person classes versus and on campus versus virtual. There's kind of a combination of both going on right now, but there's actually a worldwide trend that says, it's not necessary to spend 4 years on a campus with the way technology is today, as most of you know. Now, I think most people would still agree having a campus experience is extremely important to your maturity. Whether that be for 3 years or 2 years, but it has to be, you have to have time on a campus. You have to have that experience. So nobody's denying that at all. And then in energy and cybersecurity, we continue to be a national leader in that. So all the things that many of you on this phone call take part in, and we appreciate that. We tripled our foreign direct investment in large part because of India over the 3-year period culminating in 2018. We went from, I think we went from 46 to 47 projects. We went from 818 million in CapEx all the way up to we went from, I guess, 2,600 new jobs to 6,500 from foreign direct investors during that 3-year period. We went from 818 million CapEx to 3.2 billion. So, and we went from what was $23.50 on average wage to $29.48. And you know all too well about that, Mr. Gandhi, and what you folks are doing with AxiCAT has been a big contributor to that aspect of it. We've been continuing to track our foreign direct investors, our partners from India, partners from all around the world. I call them. I can't go to see them, but that doesn't mean I can't pick up the phone and call them. So a lot of those calls are made in the wee hours of the night, and that's okay because of the different time zones. I always tease and tell people, call me any time of the day or night. You might as well, because the governor does. I can't tell you in those 4 trips to India how many times I got a phone call in the middle of the night, but he doesn't know I'm in India and he doesn't know what time it is there. So anyway, we're reaching out, we're checking with everybody, see how they're doing. Are their families well? Are they staying safe and well? And we're committed to a long-term recovery plan. The governor formed what's referred to as the Indiana Economic Relief and Recovery Team Task Force, and I co-chair that along with Chris Johnson, who's the director of the Office of Management and Budget. So we are basically doling out the $2.4 billion in relief funding that came from the CARES Act to help, foster good business relationships, to help inspire long-term recovery, to help invest in companies that are not able to do that, to help strengthen our international relationships, and especially all the great people that have invested in Indiana. And symbolic of that is the fact that here in this year, we don't talk a lot about this because of the fact that people and businesses are dealing with life and death issues that take precedent over everything. But this year, in terms of IDC, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation's work, we've secured we'll pass 20,000 new job commitments this Friday, so it's just tomorrow. We are somewhere around 2.7, 2.8 billion in CapEx, and the wages are strong at $27+ an hour. So, and the CapEx has been amazing. So, as I said, 2.7 billion. So we're doing a lot of great things. We've downplayed that. People wanted the businesses to say this isn't really the center topic right now. It's about the health and safety of everybody throughout Indiana. But we've done some really good things this year because, as you know, businesses have a much longer timeline than, say, your health. This takes a precedent. That's a short timeline. So we've experienced that. The governor and his administration, now coming up on 3 years and 8 months, he has secured over 107,000 new jobs in the state of Indiana and over a $24 billion CapEx, wages at somewhere in over $28. So it's been miraculous, and that's a record. That's an all-time record of any governor here in the state of Indiana in one term. He will tell you, as you know, those of you on the call that know him, he will tell you that that's the product of his predecessors, and it's the people of Indiana. Because again, he takes credit for nothing. But the long and short of it is, he's right in that regard. But he's taken advantage of it. He's not sat on it. He's not, as we say here in Indiana, he's not taking a pit stop because of it. It continues to be active. It's one of his favorite things. He calls our organization his good news organization because we're able to bring him exciting good news when we have job announcements and so on and so forth. We still have our next level fund out there, $250 million. I've talked about this before to all of you. I talked about Washington, Mr. Gandhi. It's $250 million to invest in innovation and entrepreneurship. And actually, as of this next week, I will take over the chairmanship of that. It's supposed to be the Secretary of Commerce, but I've appointed a person from our organization to do that since its inception 3 years ago. But as of Tuesday, I'll take over at the first meeting. And what I want to do is I want to make sure we're taking that $250 million and making it accessible to people. In a 3-year period, there's only been just over $100 million invested at $250 million, and there's a bank account sitting out there with $500 million in it. So as soon as this is exhausted, $500 million goes into it, and there's no reason to sit on that money. It's sometimes hard, and a lot of you on the phone call are entrepreneurs, and when I used to get teased at times as an architect, and I do public projects, and somebody say, well, I have to really watch out for taxpayers' money. And that's why I'm being the way I am. I laugh out loud, and I say, well, wait till you work with somebody that's spending their own money. They're a lot more concerned than people that are spending public dollars, and not that they're not concerned in the public realm. But so in wrapping things up here a little bit, our ties between Indiana and India, as you know, the governor always says you can't even spell Indiana if you don't start with India. And Indiana, of course, has come to India. So we like to say and would like to say to everyone on this call, Indiana. So come to Indiana. We'll roll out the red carpet for you and make sure that you get to meet all the great leaders here in Indiana and industries of your likeness, or potential customers of yours that you'd like to get your foot in the door with. We're happy to do that as well, Mr. Gandhi. And what you're doing with Cummins is pretty special, pretty miraculous. But you go down in through, again, talking about the companies. There's 8 companies here from India that have happened over the last 3-4 years, and every one, to my knowledge, is doing very, very well. I've not heard of anything different than that, albeit set back a little bit by the pandemic. But we've got all your customers are here, of anybody you might work with. It was announced, I believe, yesterday, our unemployment soared to 7%. We were 3.2 before the pandemic. It went up to 17%. It dropped to 12%, 12.5%. Then it dropped to 11.5%. And as of yesterday, it's down to 7%, our unemployment. So we're trending just as we thought we would. as Hoosiers return to the workplace. So again, we've had so many recent job commitments. I won't go through every one in detail, but it's been a great, great year. We're so proud, again, I say, of IMSAs and Axicatas and Aperio, and the list goes on and on of the people that are here. People that have made, hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars investment in Indiana, and we never take that for granted. But the one thing I'd like to wrap up with for sure is to talk about the importance of the relationship between Indiana and India, where we always think our major thought goes to cultural exchanges and understanding each other's culture. At the FICCI meeting, the governor has nonstop talked about that meeting. He was awarded with the Mr. Gandhi's award on his, what would have been, I think, his 150th birthday on that Wednesday night. He displays that. He has it everywhere. Our visit with Prime Minister Modi was magical. What an incredibly intelligent man. He spoke in great depths about Indiana with no notes, zero notes, meant he had done his homework. So between that visit and getting the FICCI Award, which was one of the highest honors ever bestowed on Governor Holcomb, all these things are just highlight the importance of the investment between our India, the country of India, and the state of Indiana, India being the largest democracy in the world beyond the United States, actually larger than the United States, but and your focus on health and the GDP and using athletics and sports to be healthy, something where we were just on the verge of forming a major partnership with the Prime Minister. But again, the COVID virus has hit so hard, we've had to put a couple things on hold. But I want to renew our commitment. I don't really think we've ever not been committed, but certainly as we start to come to whatever this new norm is, our sister state relationship with Karnataka is extremely important to us. And we want to prove on our side of it that we're doing what it takes to make sure that Indian companies are getting incentivized correctly to be here in the States and more specifically to be here in Indiana. So you have my pledge and my word today that we'll work to reinvigorate what we're doing there with our sister state relationship. I know there's at least two people on this call that were part of that MOU signing when we did it back in 2017 with the governor. We appreciate our deep ties and our friendship, and commit to that. And I will be in India as soon as somebody lets me. I went there 4 times in a 2-year period, and I loved every minute of it. So again, I think the future's bright for India here in Indiana, and I think it's bright for Indiana and India. And we just need to continue with these kind of discussions and these kind of partnership commitments, and everybody will have what was this phrase? It says, and everybody will live happily ever after. So thank you very much for this time. I appreciate everyone, and I appreciate you, Mr. Gandhi, chairing the meeting and allowing me to be a part of it.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you so much for what kind remark, and also great, very kind of you. Really, you carry India in your heart. Looks like, of course, Indiana cannot be spelled without India first. I think I can see that one. And you traveled 4 times to India. Of course, you probably picked up some Hindi word. I guess by the time I was part of your India trade mission with the Governor Eric Holcomb last November. Couple of points I want to share with you here. Of course, the audience. Actually, our Governor Eric Holcomb, Honorable Holcomb, was the recipient of Mahatma Gandhi Award. Remember New Delhi this time? That's amazing. And also, Jim, remember your governor, your team was the first one driving Indiana Pacers and Sacramento Kings, the basketball, to Mumbai. That's the first international basketball. A 3-day game happened in Mumbai. I was invited. I was part of this one. It's amazing. You really, really make a huge partnership and history between India and Indiana. Thank you so much for your leadership, and we will definitely get back to you, Jim, for other diplomatic relationship.
Thank you, Mr. Gandhi. I will tell you that when I had that visit to Mumbai, I've not, I didn't make a commitment because I take my commitments very serious, but I still have not reconsidered running for president. That's way above my pay grade and way above my expertise. I saw a question come up on the site while we were here talking, And somebody had asked for website information. So the one I would first refer you to is Back on Track, BACKONTRACK.in.gov. And that will tell you some of the things we're doing in the pandemic, in the economic crisis. It will tell you some of the things we're doing with the civil discord crisis. And then the other, of course, is what's always out there for you is iedc.in.gov. iedc.in.gov. That's our IDC website, and everything we do is on that website. And everything we do, all of our incentives are outlined there. It's very transparent, and you'll be able to get just about everything you need with that.
Jim, thanks a lot. Thanks for your kind words. And I also enjoyed a lot of time. Good. Convey my regards to Eric Spolcom also. Wish him all the best. And looking forward to seeing you soon as the travel is permitted in India.
Thank you. Likewise.
Sudha, next time someone remove the jacket. I think he's confused with this Sudhagar and Rajan. Jim is confused. That's what, we wear the jacket, same jacket together, you know.
Okay.
Sudhagar looks same. Next time we'll change our,
Color.
dress code.
Yes.
Thank you, no problem. Okay, now let's get into continue the program. I'm going to invite our next speaker, Honorable Ashwath Narayan. Of course, you all know that he is the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka State and also a rising star in BJP party in India. In fact, exactly same day, 1 year ago, he took oath office as became the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka. What is a great coincidence? On same day, August 20th, we are having this event with the Deputy Chief Minister today. Let us congratulate him for his successful accomplishment.
Clap him. We should clap him.
Yes, exactly. Let's clap him. Yes, the first year is a lot of great coincidence. That's good. Congratulations, Deputy CM. Well, his key cabinet portfolio include Ministry of Higher Education, Information Technology, Biotechnology, Science and Technology, and Skill Development. Of course, entrepreneurship in the government of Karnataka. He is a member of Karnataka Legislative Assembly, representing BJP from the Malleshwaram Assembly in Karnataka. Some of his major focus is on specialty healthcare center for senior citizens, top-class solid waste management system, open gyms for everyone, high-tech sports ground, free education scholarship, public-private partnership, effective water and crime management system, and an online citizen portal. Being a young doctor and now a people representative, Dr. Ashwath Narayan focuses to serve others and liberate the society for betterment. So one of his greatest accomplishments is that he has become the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka in the first term as he is a member of Legislative Assembly. It is amazing news and not an easy job in India. Now let us welcome the Deputy Chief Minister, Honorable Ashwath Narayan, to make his remark.
Yeah, it's going to start. It's just starting. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I came to know that.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it's coming.
Namaste. Good morning to all the dignitaries from Indiana, Virginia, Maryland, Washington. It's really a appreciable initiative been taken up by India-US SME Council to promote the relationship between state to state, Karnataka and Indiana, Virginia, in the areas of industrial cooperation, business cooperation, investments, and many other areas. In this WebEx virtual meeting, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our Honorable Secretary, Mr. Jim Schillinger, Mr. Victor Hoskins, Mr. David, and my good friends, Mr. Rajan and Elisa Pularvati. Elisa has been taking a lot of efforts. He's been consistently calling us. He's been in touch with us. So from India, I have my good friend, Mr. Sudhakar Gande, who is a co-chairman for FICCI, and my officers, Additional Chief Secretary, Dr. Raman Reddy, Principal Secretary for Commerce and Industry, Mr. Gaurav Gupta, and KITS Director, Srimati Meena Nagraj. So a lot of preparation has gone through to ensure that we need to take the relationship to next level and make it work. And our Honorable Governor, I met him in Delhi, Mr. Eric Holcomb, who had visited Delhi probably 10 months back. I met him in Delhi in one of the function organized by Mr. Sudhakar Gande and same Indo-US SME Council. Then that function, I met all of the dignitaries whom I'm addressing now. All the dignitaries, I met them there. So Indiana and Virginia has made a lot of efforts to build relation with our country. We appreciate the interest shown by Indiana and Virginia. In this direction, the state of Karnataka has also entered into an agreement. MOU has been made in the year 2017 to strengthen the relationship between state of Karnataka and Indiana and Virginia. So since US and India, we share a very good relationship based on freedom, democratic values, human rights, equal treatment of all citizens, human rights and rule of law. The United States and India have shared interest in promoting global security, stability, and economic prosperity through trade, investment, and connectivity. In 2019, overall, US and Indian bilateral trade in goods and service reached $149 billion. Last year, Indian students enrolled at US colleges and universities in a very big way. And it has contributed for US economy in a very big way. Karnataka, coming to Karnataka, Karnataka is a very important state for India. It is one of the most prosperous states in the country with estimated GDP of $220 billion. Within next 4 years, we are planning to have a target to reach a target of minimum $500 billion. If it works out, we are even looking at $1 trillion. You might ask, what is that? What is that it's going to make you to reach that target? Since our government came into power in past 1 year, we have come out with a lot of reforms which was not witnessed in the past 73 years of the freedom. In all sectors, let it be land reforms, labor reforms, or the facilitating the establishment of industry, we have ensured just they need to make an application, it's good enough to get all the pre-operative clearance. And along with this, we have brought in innovation authority. None of our state laws or local laws will come in the way or
I'm
impede
so,
any kind of innovation in any of
excuse,
the sectors.
excuse me, Honorable Deputy CM, there is a background noise. Probably you can ask your engineer to check it out, please.
No, in my place, there's no noise, sir. You should check out elsewhere.
Can you please put rest up? Yeah.
Can we continue?
You're hearing the noise. Please go ahead. We'll see what happens. Yeah. Please, we'll listen to you.
We have brought in a lot of reforms. We have established Karnataka Digital Economy Mission. In this mission, we have made all the industry bodies part of the government. We have formed a not-for-profit company wherein more than 51% of the shares is been given to all the leading industrial bodies. And remaining 49% is with the government. And through this body, we are ensuring minute to minute, second to second, day to day, we'll stay in touch with all the industry to ensure all their concerns are effectively addressed. We want to connect very strongly and facilitate nothing goes wrong. And we want to ensure that state of Karnataka is the best place to conduct business. In this direction, we have taken all possible measures and all our officers have been doing extremely good job to ensure the best possible environment is created for anybody to come and do business in our country and our state. Under the leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, we have been moving very strongly with a very strong leadership. We are trying to bring reforms in all the sectors, in all the directions. And even in the COVID-19 or pandemic, we are taking advantage of the entire situation and bringing a lot of reforms. Nothing is coming in our way. We are taking in the same line as a startup, as in a disruption. Every challenge is an opportunity to come out with new solution, a new environment of doing business. So in this direction, we have many things to share. My colleagues, my officers from various departments, our department from ITBT and Science and Technology, Dr. Raman Reddy will be making a presentation, and Mr. Gaurav Gupta also will come up with a lot of information and presentation. And at the same time, we want this relationship to convert into action. A working group needs to be formed between the two states to ensure that business will go on and ensure the investment will come into Karnataka or the either way, investment to Indiana, Virginia. And even in the various areas where Mr. Elisa mentioned with regard to the medical device, already we have established a medical device park in Mysore where we can initiate and ensure the business can take off and either way we can do things. With regard to the aerospace and defense, we have a big establishment in India. We are the leaders in aerospace, defense, biotechnology, information technology, and many areas we are the undisputed leaders in our country. And more so, we are into the almost matching one among the 10 cities in the entire world known for innovation and technology. So with this strength, already my good friend Mr. Rajan was mentioning why this collaboration works good between Karnataka and Indiana. Because almost out of 500 companies, 400 of the 500 fortune companies, 400 have presence in Karnataka. All of them have a huge presence. We want them to increase their presence, and the rest remaining 100 also, we expect them to come and have their presence in state of Karnataka and Bangalore. So with these few words, I would like to stop here. Finally, before I complete, I would like to invite the delegation, the dignitaries from the governors, the secretaries, and various other representatives to be part of our Bangalore Tech Summit, which will happen this year. Basically, we are planning a hybrid, but even if hybrid doesn't work out, we'll be having a virtual meeting or a virtual summit. We expect all the dignitaries from Indiana, Virginia, and various part of US to be, to participate. Even all these years, not less than 25 countries have been participating in this event. Even now, it's been one of the most successful events to be seen across the world. We invite all the dignitaries to come and participate through virtual meeting and in the summit. With these few words, I would like to stop here, and I wish all the best. Whatever efforts been made by our good friend Elisa will ensure that from our state we'll be making all the. And finally, our Elisa was very keen for organizing cricket. So earlier from Indiana, we had organized a basketball match in Mumbai. I appreciate the interest taken by Indiana to organize a basketball match. From Karnataka, we'll ensure whatever is required to organize a cricket match in Indiana or any place you want us to represent, participate, train our people in cricket. We are willing to do that, to train, to start an academy, to organize matches, whatever you need from our state. We'll ensure all kind of support will be extended, and will ensure all the success will take this interaction to next level, and will make business happen. For that, we want a lot of interest also from your side. And let the working group, I will request our Honorable Secretary, Mr. Jim, to take it forward. And Elisa, we want a working group to be formed. Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Deputy Chief Minister. Thank you, Dr. Ashwat Narayan. Amazing, and had a good chat with you in New Delhi. And we felt that you are a great visionary leader for the state of Karnataka. And thank you so much for talking about Karnataka infrastructure. I think this trilateral relationship, Virginia, Indiana, Karnataka, are going to be amazing. We want to thank US-India SME Council, to make this happen. And of course, you are a Silicon Valley of Asia in Karnataka. And there is a common joke here. The company, an American company who did not have a presence in India, their return on investment is a single digit, okay? But they have a presence in India, particularly Karnataka, the return on investment is a double digit. So that kind of business relationship we have both in the US and India. Thank you very much for providing the landscape. So I greatly appreciate your time and your leadership. Well, now let us welcome our next speaker, Honorable
David Bird. David Bird.
Okay, well, let me invite.
Is there David Bird? Yeah, bring David Bird.
Please, thank you, Rasha.
Yeah.
Well, our great friend and dynamic speaker, Honorable David Bird, is going to speak now, who was appointed as the National Director of the U.S. Department of Commerce Minority Business Agency on June 15, 2020. He is the 18th National Director of the agency. In his role, he oversees the development and implementation of agency initiative, policy agenda, and a federal grant program. Mr. Bird joined the Department of Commerce actually as a Deputy Director of the MPDB in 2019. And then he was, after serving as the Deputy Assistant Secretary, Office of Policy Development at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Mr. Bird has served more than 28 years in a dedicated public service at the county level, state, and federal level, has included executive level positions in government operations, administrations, and economic development. He is also the experienced entrepreneur and a certified life coach. Mr. Bird is proud to say that public service is a Bird family tradition. I like it. In the past, he also served as the Chief of Staff of Lieutenant Governor Michael Steele in Maryland and a County Administrator of Prince George's County. He is also a very close partner of US-India SME Council, a good friend of Indian Americans, particularly Elisha Pulivarthi and myself. Let us welcome Honorable Board. David?
Yes, very good. First of all, Rajan, thank you so much for that introduction. Thank you to everyone who's on the call here today. I appreciate it on behalf of the U.S. Department of Commerce, Minority Business Development Agency. I want to thank Dr. Rajan, former Deputy Secretary of State for the state of Maryland, my good friend Elijah Pulivarthi, who is in charge of the U.S.-India SME Council, and who we are putting together an MOU that's going to be signed any day now. In fact, we are talking about featuring this at our midweek presentation next month, which is the largest thing that we do. We've been doing it for 34 years. Many greetings to my friend Victor Hoskins over in Fairfax County, and congratulations, Victor, where I see that 113 businesses are featured in the Inc. 5000 2020 list. Congratulations to you for that. The great work that you're bringing there, because I want to say because that you've done there, but gee whiz, you've been to Maryland, Prince George's County, DC government. So actually what you're bringing to Fairfax County there, and I just see bigger things from you there. Let me just say, first of all, again, Rajan and Elijah and the honorable ministers who have joined us from India, Secretary Schellinger from the state of Indiana. The Minority Business Development Agency turns 51 years old next month. It has been in existence since 1969, when we had 300,000 minority-owned businesses in 1969. Today, we have 11 million that represent $1.6 trillion to the U.S. economy. Let me say that again, 1.6 trillion with a T to the U.S. economy. The Minority Business Development Agency is the only agency in the federal government that has one mission and one mission alone, and that is the growth and competitiveness of minority-owned businesses. Contrary to popular belief, we do not only get minority-owned businesses government contracts. 68% of the contracts that we've got in fiscal year 19, that's 3.1 billion with a B, that we help minority-owned businesses get, $3.1 billion, 60% were with the private sector. I've had the privilege of working with my friend Elijah back in 2007. I got a chance to visit India, the world, of course, we know the world's largest democracy, and India leads the world with the number of people under the age of 25 in the entire planet. So India is the future on this planet. And I'm very glad that we are working with the U.S. India SME Council to open up opportunities for minority-owned businesses that wish to connect with Indian companies. When I went to India for 15 days, we visited 8 cities in 15 days, New Delhi, Chennai, Calcutta, and all the areas down there in India. Got a chance to see some of the great companies that are doing cutting edge stuff. I got to see some of the call centers myself and visit them. And I look forward to, MBEs connecting those MBEs over there where Victor are, who we've had a great phone call and connect them, bringing those SMEs that want to connect with India and Indian businesses. We have 4 centers. MBDA has 4 centers around the country that specialize in companies that want to get into importing and exporting. So Rajan and Elijah, Victor, and everybody else, honorable ministers on this phone call, we look forward to, first of all, highlighting this MOU next month at MedWeek. And then we also look forward to the great things that we can do between MBDA, the U.S. India SME Council, and what we can connect to those business and governments in the largest democracy in the world, which is India. Thank you so much.
Thank you, David. It's a great, news you are sharing with us today, that There is an initiative going on, signing up MOU between US India SME Council and the Department of Commerce under your leadership. Thank you so much. And in fact, thank you for your public service and the leadership to facilitate the minority business, thousands of minority businesses to, get into contract, get into the, program. And it's a very, very amazing program. Thank you so much for leadership.
Rajan, one more thing I'm going to say, and my friend Victor knows me well enough to know this, is that I am going to use this position and this agency as a battering ram for minority-owned businesses. I'm going to use this job and this position to knock down all barriers that are in my way for minority-owned businesses. So I want to let you know that Victor knows me well enough to know that I can do it and I will do it. And Elijah knows that as well.
David, I know it definitely 20 years, he is going to do it. Most of the participants are entrepreneurs from minority community. They are listening to you closely. Thank you so much for sharing this good news. It's amazing. And also you brought up another point. You traveled to India 15 days and you traveled 8 cities in 15 days. That shows how good Indian infrastructure, the airport, road, highway, hotels, everything. So we are great partners. India, US partners are amazing, and definitely your leadership going to really strengthen our relationship further. Thank you, David, for your contribution. Now let us bring another distinguished speaker. Well, our next speaker is Dr. E.V. Ramana Reddy, Additional Chief Secretary, Department of Information Technology, Biotechnology, and Science and Technology, and the Department of Higher Education, Government of Karnataka. He has an amazing portfolio. Well, Dr. Ramana Reddy is an Indian Administrative Officer, IAS officer we call 1988 batch. He is one of the senior most IAS officers in Karnataka government, and he has 30 years of experience. Dr. Reddy holds a PhD in agronomy from Andhra Pradesh Agriculture University, Hyderabad. Let us welcome Dr. Ramana Reddy now. Dr. Reddy.
Thank you, Mr. Rajan. Honorable Deputy Chief Minister of Government of Karnataka, Honorable Jim Schellinger, Honorable Victor Hoskins, Honorable David Bird, Dr. Rajan Natarajan, Mr. Sudhakar Gande, Mr. Gaurav Gupta, Mr. Bopanna, Mr. Elisha Pulivarti, Mrs. Meena Nagaraj, and all other friends who are participating here. I wanted to make a small presentation. I think Uttara, can you share? This is a small presentation on Bangalore and Karnataka's innovation. Uttara, can you go to the first slide? Uttara? Yeah. So the theme of the presentation is Karnataka, a global innovation hub. So I will explain this concept in the next 4 or 5 slides. Next slide, please. The Karnataka state, as already mentioned by the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, go back to the first slide. Uttara, first slide. Yeah. As mentioned by the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, is ranked as most innovative state in the country by the Planning Commission of India, that is called Niti Aayog. And we are the first state in India to come up with sector-specific policies right from 1997. You name the IT sector, whether IT, biotechnology, startups, AVGC, ESDM, electrical vehicles, every sector, we were the pioneers in the country to have come out with a government policy on each of the sector. FDI of US $42.3 billion has come to Karnataka from 2000 to 2019, and we have 40% national share in software exports from the country. And as already mentioned by the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, 400 out of 500 Fortune 500 companies are based in Bangalore. And as far as US, India and Bangalore's partnership goes, I want to remind all of you that Texas Instruments, TI was the first company to have come into, IT company to have come into India. So we normally say that TI is TI has started the IT revolution in Bangalore and Karnataka. So, as mentioned earlier, we have signed MOUs earlier with various states and universities. We have signed one MOU with Harvard University called Boston Bangalore Bio Beginnings B4 program. As already mentioned, we have signed MOUs with Georgia, Pennsylvania, Florida, and Indiana also in 2017. Next slide, please. Next slide, Uttara. Yeah. The strength of Bangalore lies not only in IT and IT-enabled services industry, but its strength lies in deep tech talent. We have a vibrant tech ecosystem. We have cosmopolitan culture, and as already mentioned by me, we have strong government, industry, and academia support for the last 20-25 years. We contribute about 50% of India's biotech workforce. 1/3 of BT biotech exports from the country are from Bangalore and Karnataka. We contribute 40% of IT exports of India and 64% of India's ESDM exports. We are the largest chip design hub in the world. We have more than 20,000 startups. 12 of them are unicorns. We have 30 unicorns in the country, out of which 12 are from Bangalore. We have more than 100 venture capital funds with a portfolio of about 6 billion venture capital. We are ranked in the recently 28th by Startup Genome Report, the only city in India that is ranked in top 30. Next slide, please. Uttara, next slide. This is very interesting slide. This is though prior to pandemic, but you can see the comparison. The Oxford Economics in December 18 has said that Bangalore is predicted to be the fastest growing city in the world for next 15 years. It is said that it will go at a pace of 8.5%, whereas the world average will be 2.8%. The percentages may change now because of the pandemic, but the comparison will remain that Bangalore will be the fastest growing city in the world for the next 15 years. Next slide, please. Uttara? Uttara, next slide. Yeah. As I mentioned already, we don't do just basic level IT and IT-enabled services. We provide cutting-edge technology for international research in Bangalore. 35% of India's global capability centers are in Bangalore, and it covers 41% of global capability centers talent. To name a few which have started recently, Google opened a chip design center in February 2019 in Bangalore. Boeing is building flight simulation systems in Bangalore. Goldman Sachs has an advanced data mining and machine learning lab. Intel R&D Center was set up in 2018 with $150 million investment with 100,000 square feet of area. All other major GCCs of American companies are here: Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Microsoft. You name any big company, their global capability center is in Bangalore. This only shows that the talent available in Bangalore. Next slide, please. Uttara, next slide. Yeah, we have set up to promote innovation. We have set up 8 centers of excellence in the past 2-3 years. Aerospace and defense with Dassault Systems of French. We have agro innovation, COE, then in animation, visual gaming, visual effects and gaming, cybersecurity, data science and artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, machine learning, fabless accelerator. So we have supported about 370 startups, and about 150 plus mentors and industry partners are mentoring these startups. And we have trained about 5,000 plus students, and we have world-class equipment and labs in all these centers of excellence. Next slide, please. we have a very interesting program called Elevate. This is a program where we don't put in equity. We give grant. This is first of its kind in the country. We give grant to the startups for helping them to come out from idea to POC, the proof of concept level. In this program, we have funded about $15.3 million in past 2 years and have supported more than 470 startups. We have 125,000 square feet of incubation area supported by government. There are incubation areas supported by private companies, but this is purely by government, and we are supporting 570 plus startups. We have set up 5 technology business incubators. Then we have New Age Innovation Network in more than 30 colleges in Karnataka. We have set up common instrumentation facilities, and we have government itself supports through venture funding to biotech, AVGC and DSDM, and they has invested about $24 million from government itself. We, as already mentioned by the Deputy Chief Minister, state has launched first of its kind sector agnostic regulatory sandbox for incubating and promoting innovative technologies. We have set up an innovation authority wherein any state law, if it is an impediment for any innovation, the state can give exception and allow sandbox to run for some time. And if the idea is proved successful, they can go to market and we will amend that law. We are establishing AI and robotics technology park in Indian Institute of Science. And as already mentioned, we have a lot of all policies. We were first in the country. Our startup policy has completed 5 years. We are able to renew it in the next year. And one more new policy we are planning, which will be on new engineering R&D. So this is just to show that how Bangalore is doing and Karnataka is the innovation hub of the country. As far as today's event goes, we are really excited that today we have initiated discussion for cooperation in the areas of medical devices park with the state of Indiana and Center of Excellence for Aerospace and Defense with Virginia, and EV battery project with Indiana State and PRI in Bangalore. I hope that this collaboration will benefit both the states, Indiana, Virginia, and also Karnataka State. And as already mentioned by the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, we will have a group task force and group to take it forward. Thank you, and thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy, for an excellent presentation and also sharing this landscape.
Yeah, Rajan.
Yes.
That Mr. Victor is leaving, so you want to say a couple of words. Give him an opportunity. Yeah, let him.
Yes, yes.
Victor Hoskins.
Mayor, Secretary, please.
Mr. Victor Hoskins. Huh? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Victor.
You want to make a final remark, Victor? Please go ahead. We can see you.
Yes, very good, very good.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to say that I appreciate the opportunity to present today. I look forward to the conversations that we're going to have related to business opportunities. Karnataka, it sounds like an amazing place. Like I said, we've had an office there for 15 years, so we know a little bit about it, but we really look forward to working with the state and with the businesses that are interested in expanding here and some of our businesses that are interested in expanding there. I want to thank Rajan and Elisha and all of you who organized this. My good friend David Bird, who is an incredible leader, and I think is going to bring a lot of energy and opportunity to all of us. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
And Mr. Victor, that Deputy Chief Minister is extending an invitation for you, especially you, to visit Bangalore.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. Absolutely. As soon as this COVID thing is done, I look forward to that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Elisha. Thank you, Victor. In fact, I want to thank Dr. Reddy on 2 aspects. Number one, he has highlighted Bangalore the fastest growing city in the next 15 years. I'm really, really impressed. Definitely, it gives a different perspective for the global investors, come to Bangalore. Number one. Number two, like Victor said, city of Bangalore, Fairfax County, and Indianapolis City is an amazing place to work together. Dr. Reddy, we want to extend our invitation. Please meet our business guru, Victor, and Indianapolis, Secretary, Schellinger. There's a great opportunity for you all work together. So thank you so much for your amazing fact sharing with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rajan.
Thank you. Now let's invite, yes, okay. Well, our next speaker, the last speaker, final speaker, Mr. Gaurav Gupta, who is the Principal Secretary to the Government of Karnataka for the Department of Commerce and Industries. He's a senior officer in the state looking after the issues related to the industrial development, ease of doing businesses, investment promotion, and SME, small minority business enterprises. He has been the recipient of National Award of E-Governance, Chief Minister's Ratna Award, and Distinguished Alumnus Award from IIT Kanpur. Mr. Gaurav Gupta holds a BTech in Electrical Engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur, and MTech in Electrical Engineering from IIT New Delhi. He also has understanding leadership course. He has done John Kennedy School of Government, Harvard University. Let us welcome Mr. Gupta.
Very good morning to the friends in US and good evening to Honorable Deputy Chief Minister, sir, and also my colleagues in Bangalore. It has been an immensely useful session in the last 1.5 hours or so, interacting with the US-India SME Council and trying to forge together a US-India partnership, state-to-state link with Indiana and Virginia states with Karnataka. In fact, I recall Schellinger, Mr. Jim Schellinger, the Secretary of Commerce, the state of Indiana, having visited Bangalore. And I also remember having shown him the Kannada script on the Mahatma Gandhi statue in the Vidhan Saudha premises. I wonder whether he recalls that now. It was an amazing interaction with the Governor Eric Halcombe and the team, and it was a high-level delegation, and I recall that vividly. It's been amazing to interact with all of you today. We have listened to very illuminating speeches by the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister and also by Secretary of Commerce, Indiana, Jim, and also Victor, the President of Fairfax County Economic Development, and David Bird, the National Director for U.S. Department of Commerce Minority Business Development Agency. So also to other colleagues, Dr. Rajan Natarajan and Sudhakar Gande and a number of other colleagues from India and the US who have really illuminated the sessions today. So let me mention this in addition to what my colleagues have already mentioned, and I'm sure that they have brilliantly covered the strengths of Bangalore and Karnataka. But let me mention that it's an unprecedented situation posed by COVID-19, and also there have been a lot of geopolitical shifts, and there have been trade wars. There has been greater scrutiny on China as a reliable source of raw materials or components or integrated systems. And so therefore, many industries are restructuring their supply chains to de-risk their dependence on China. India can emerge as a cost-effective and yet a low-risk option to China, and can become attractive investment destinations for various countries and various companies in the next 12 to 18 months. And the recently announced measures by Indian government in this direction to encourage local manufacturing is a right step. And Karnataka within that, if I can frame Karnataka within that, Karnataka is the most preferred investor destination in India. It ranks number 3 in terms of foreign direct investments among the states in India. It is the 4th largest in terms of merchandise exports, and in terms of IT and software exports, it's number 1. It's the leading state. As told by my colleague, Dr. Reddy, it is number 1 state in terms of innovation. And there are several advantages which you can exploit out of being with Karnataka. So beside being the Silicon Valley and one of the largest technology hubs, Karnataka is also leaders in various other sectors. I would like to list some of them because the there's a large degree of complementarity between what is there in Indiana as well as in Karnataka. I will cite examples of aerospace and defense. It may be engineering and machine tools, auto components, electronics, biotechnology, chip design, mobile internet devices, nanotechnology, space technology, medical devices, and renewable energy. So these are some of them in which there is an available industrial ecosystem. There are a number of companies that are working. Number of them are already exporting to US and to a number of other countries. We have a highly skilled, trained workforce available. We have the logistics network. The airport in Bangalore is 3rd largest in India, servicing 30 million passengers every year. And we have almost 400 of the Fortune 500 companies by the who's and who in the world. So in terms of ease of doing business, a number of initiatives have been taken up. Honorable Deputy Chief Minister has already listed the Industries Facilitation Act. You have a single approval and you can take up the work next day onwards. So this is the kind of thing you don't require in downstream approvals. And I'm sure that there are a lot of advantages of being in Karnataka. It's a stable economy, stable decision making. Whatever decisions are taken, they are now not questioned by change in governments. And it's a policy-driven environment led by number of companies and industry leaders. They are the persons who help us to formulate our policies. And I would say whosoever has come to Karnataka has gained immensely. There is a lot of value in further investing in Karnataka. And we look forward to laying out a red carpet welcome to all of you. So do let us know in what manner we can assist, and do spread the word around for the industries and small industries development in the state of Karnataka, which can benefit all of us across the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gupta. Amazing presentation. In fact, you strengthened the Karnataka, the industrial, revolution, and it really added some lot of values. In fact, though I'm from Tamil Nadu, I have equal friends in Karnataka. Every time I visit Tamil Nadu, I visit Karnataka. I have a lot of, good friends. And so we look forward to working with you and your team and how we can really strengthen our relationship. Having said that, Elisha, now I think now we're moving to the technology show. Thank you all the speakers, all the panelists. It's a terrific event. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, and wonderful. And now I invite Mr. Bopanna, who will demonstrate and show a few technology emerging in Bangalore. Now, Mr. Bopanna. Mr. Bopanna,
unmute. Yeah.
Are you there, Mr. Bopanna?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Alicia. It's been a pleasure, and it was overwhelming, the information provided by the dignitaries, both from Virginia, Indiana, and Karnataka. And we had our finest officers from Karnataka giving us very, very informative details of the state of Karnataka. In this context, I would like to present 3 technology companies from Bangalore. The best part of this technology companies is they have an American connect. And today they are the, we should say they are ready for a global opportunity. So the first company which would make a small 5-minute presentation is Transaction Analysts. And I request Srini to upload your content and show this small presentation. Srini.
Good morning, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, sir. To all the respected dignitaries from US and India. My name is Srinivas Paturi. I was in US close to 18 years and returned around 80 years back. And I'm going to show you what I built with my team here. This is going to be like a 1 minute. You can hear, right? Or if you can hear, right?
Yes, yes, please continue.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So basically, Transaction Analyst is a company which is a fintech platform. It's a financial inclusion beyond mobile and banking. And this is a digital payments arena, what we build. And we have taken a state, like any state, and used the state infrastructure. And with that state infrastructure, we digitally transform the entire state with the lowest possible cost. So I'll just show you like a small presentation. This is going to be 3 minutes presentation, and then there is a 1 minute presentation, and then I'll close this. This is the presentation what we have done for Telangana state.
Srini, the screen is blank.
Yeah.
The screen is blank.
What is it? Hello?
Blank. The screen is blank. We can't see anything.
Yeah, you
can't say anything.
Yeah, Srini. Keep moving. Don't worry about this. Okay. Next.
Can you see now?
Yes, coming out. Yeah.
Can you see?
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Okay. Srini, can you increase the volume? Please increase the volume.
Yeah, I
Can't hear. Yeah. Maybe it's...
Okay, now you can play the Satya Nadella one.
1 minute. Sir, be ready. Be ready, sir.
Yeah. Really, go to the next.
Yes.
Yeah, go to the next, please. Yeah, thank you. The-
You can see.
Yeah, audio is not there.
It's not audible. That's okay. No problem.
No.
Next.
It's not audible. Yes.
Okay. No, I think.
Yeah.
Srini,
Yeah, just
Srini, can you tell us the audience? Tell us what is the importance of this application, the T wallet? Can you, Bhupana?
Yes, yes. Srini.
That would be helpful for the audience.
Yes, Srini.
done.
Basically, entire state can be digitally transformed. For example, we started this in the state of Telangana. Today, we have 1.2 million users and around 1.5 million transactions, 70 million.
Yeah, okay.
So basically, what we are trying to say is the digital transformation happens using the state infrastructure, bringing the cost of the transaction down. Today, we have 22,000 points of presence, which is we are like bigger than the biggest bank available in the entire state. Okay, so we can do it this for any state. We are planning to do for want to offer for Karnataka state also. That's all from my side.
Yes, now we'll have the healthcare presentation from Dr. P.S. Ramkumar, who used to be the former director of Intel R&D, and he's created a very large platform, which is which can be a global platform for healthcare. So, Dr. Ramkumar, if you can take over.
Thank you, Bhupana. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just screen share. Just a second. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. So briefly for 5 minutes, sir.
Yes. Well, I'm Ramkumar. My relationship with the US goes back 25 years. I've worked in US, done startup companies, got bought up by Intel back in 2001 or so, and now my son works in the US. And so it's been a long relationship. I was responsible for creating the innovation and research program for Intel in India. It's like a startup we did in India. And so this is the company that I have founded at Applied Cognition Systems, basically to bridge the gap between the academic research and the factory environment. There was a R&D environment that was required to be able to take problems in practical sense and apply all the stuff that's coming out of academia and convert it into practical solutions for real life issues. So we launched it in 2010. We have grown into business models of product sale, IP development and sale, contract R&D, collaborative projects with several NGOs, academic partners. We have set up labs in 5 universities and with about 20 institutions we have developed in India and abroad collaborative growth of R&D. We have put in about 450 million, 450 man years of R&D to develop we have about 20 products in the space of healthcare. And we have worked in domains with a vision to basically adopt technologies for, solving real issues, real practical issues in e-governance, healthcare, and education. These are 3 verticals that we have grown into. And we have recently signed up in the COVID situation with the Telemedicine Society of India, which has undertaken a massive task to train about 500,000 doctors across the country in telemedicine. They're using our platform. And we have developed these platforms, and the Karnataka government has been very helpful in the last so many years, where we have spun off actually a company focused on development and deployment of healthcare networks, linking hospitals, clinics, labs, and the various service providers across healthcare into a common portal where a patient can have a single window of access to healthcare. So you can see those newspaper clips I have put here, where several ministers of the government have taken initiative in launching some of our initiatives across rural areas, semi-rural urban areas, and urban areas in Karnataka. And we have, you can see in the map, we started in Bangalore, we are headquartered in Bangalore, and we have scaled our reach to different parts of the country. And now I think we're ready to go global and find global partnerships in that context. I would thank all of you to have given this opportunity. So we have developed several platforms, and I would focus right now on the aspect of digital healthcare exchange, which is the CarePlex platform, which we have built considering the challenges of the health ecosystem. There's a health system change. I am an empaneled expert in United Nations for health ICT transformation across large-scale health systems. Whatever my findings there, I have tried to put them into the usage models here. And some of the standard problems like obsolescence, how to build collaboration between various service providers electronically, and achieve sustainability on a digital electronic platform for all of them, and the standard problem of workforce generation of digitally trained workforce. These are problems that we have taken into consideration and built up this platform. So this is built to address basically the challenges and make it easy for the care subscriber, providers, and to the government in the ways I have listed down below there. I'll just take the next slide. This is what we have manifested. Instead of episodic care, instead of episodic reactive care, where the patient has to go to the hospital, we have transformed that to bring the various service providers under one platform on coordinated care and converted episodic care into care programs. So care programs for disease management, which can be developed with its own workflow for governance, for protocols, associated e-commerce among all these entities. They can make their own networks on this virtual platform. So a hospital can tie up with multiple labs, a lab can tie up with multiple hospitals, and they can create their own business networks. And by virtue of doing that, one can bring together several services on one platform and one integrated workflow, one integrated commerce flow. And this we have enabled the platform to provide back office services that you see below. A lot of these back office services are needed in order to deploy a network like this and enable aggregation of services, patients, as well as the providers. So with this platform, we have been able to demonstrate, we have gone out to rural areas, we have gone out to semi-urban areas, created 3-tier networks where super specialty hospitals in the urban areas are able to tie up with hospitals in the rural or in the semi-urban areas, and also tie up with physician clinics in very rural areas. All of them are in the game. All of them are continuously with the patient as the patient gets services. So we are driving this primarily from the viewpoint that from a governance point of view, care programs I do see a lot of care programs are funded by World Bank and so on. We see that a care program needs to be orchestrated. Right now, we are working on this aspect of home care. It's an ongoing project that we have, and we have this complete, a care program being orchestrated right now. We are working on it with clinics, with hospitals, and with several agencies to come up with a care program that can be implemented on such a platform. So I would just go to the last slide, where this is a snapshot of a lot of technologies that we have developed. We have a cross section of stuff that we have done in hardware and in software, focused on specific problems of geriatric care, pediatric care, and other disease management issues. You can see that we have some technologies for tele-education, for teleconsultation, telemonitoring, tele-reporting, diagnostic reporting, cold chain monitoring. On the same platform, we are able to manifest all this because we have built it on a what is called application reconfiguration technology that we have built into the platform. So it's very easy to manifest what looks very disparate, very distinct kind of applications on a common platform, bring them all together. So you will see that some of these illustrations that I put here, we have done tele-ICU monitoring, and in public health space, the same thing has been used for monitoring mosquito breeding, the dengue mosquito breeding. So lots of things have been put out there because we see that healthcare cannot happen episodically and in silos. Right now, we are witnessing it in COVID, that a lot of preventive care, environmental monitoring has also become suddenly important in this context. So we put together a platform, a framework, and that is what we are trying to deploy in collaboration with universities, with government agencies, with the private industry as well. So this platform is more like what we would have thought about a telephone exchange 25 years ago. And today, I and you are all speaking on this platform. We don't even bother about where is that exchange and who owns that exchange. So what we have built is a digital health exchange of that platform, of that sort, where it must enable collaboration between multiple service providers and bring together a single integrated package of services that can take place.
Yes,
so this
thank
is
you,
the
Dr.
platform
Thank you,
that I
Dr.
was
Ram.
we are
Thank you,
we have done
Ram
the
Kumar. Thank you very
implementations in
much.
India and in Karnataka, especially.
Dr. Ram,
We have set up an
yes.
office
yeah,
in the US,
Dr. Ram.
Yeah, thank you.
In California, and I'll be very happy to look forward to collaborating given this opportunity with Virginia as well. So I would like to thank the Karnataka government for all the support that they have given us so far, and look forward to growing this collaboration further. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kumar. And we don't have much time, so I requesting Dr. Rajan and Mr. Sudhakar Gandhi to take over as Q&A.
Good. Thank you, Alisha. Thank you, Bopana. I have a question for these two presenters. The last presenter, healthcare product. We would like to know, one of the audience asked this question, whether they can be integrated the electronic health record, like in Epics, without having a rebuilt the system. Do you have an answer you can really share with us?
Absolutely. The framework allows for building multiple adapters that can link to different service providers, and there have been several hospitals with which we have integrated who have heterogeneous systems. So we have a mechanism by which an implementation can be done to abstract out the different interface, different systems.
Thank you. The second question is, sorry, Pavana, please send this PowerPoint slides to the US India SME Council, Melvin, because some of the participants asking the presentation that we can distribute. Okay, both presenters.
Sure.
Thank you.
Right. Also, Natarajan, I just wanted to point out, thank you for the time given to the entrepreneurs and for the government of Indiana and Virginia. What we'd like to propose is we have our entrepreneurs ready for manufacturing facilities, because for technology we used to have a lot of ready-made facilities in Karnataka where used to come and start off. Similarly, we have readily available manufacturing facilities which we can offer. That is, with that, I thank you for the time given to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Alicia? Alicia?
Yes, Mr. Gandhi.
Have you seen my message?
Okay. Officials wanted to close the. Mr. Gandhi, what happened, Rajan?
Yeah. I got urgent call, sir.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
Apologize.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, but then.
Oh, Sudhakar?
Yeah. What
Okay,
I'm saying
go
is
ahead.
actually we are now overstepped the time quite a bit.
Yes, yeah.
I think you can thank everybody for participating and we can close it. Hello?
Elisha, I think you're asking who? I'm done, and you are doing conclusion right now, Ramon?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
You can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they,
The time is only 15 minutes over, Elisha.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Alicia, you do the closing remarks and thank everybody, please.
Yes, please.
Okay. On behalf of US India SME Council, I am grateful to all the speakers for the time and leadership and great presentations. Honorable Dr. Ashwant Narayana, Deputy CM, Secretary Jim Ellinger, and Honorable David Bird, Honorable Victor Hoskins, and Dr. Raman Reddy, and Mr. Gaurav Gupta, Mr. Sudhakar Gandhi, and Rajan for moderating very systematically and smoothly. And I'm sure participants enjoyed and benefited from this series, State to State Investment and Business Opportunity. And special thanks to Mr. Bopana, who introduced technologies to the market, and Melvin for his skills in digital technology, and Madam Meena Nagarajan for her leadership, and thank each and everyone who joined today USA India Partnership Series on the state-to-state challenges and opportunities and success stories. No large company can operate without SMEs, as they are part of the supply chain and distribution, both upstream and downstream. So our next series, we will be having pretty soon about the presidential elections in United States. And please watch for it. And thank you once again for this wonderful state to state. We brought two states, Indiana and Virginia, Fairfax County. The reason Karnataka is important, very close to us. It's an important city not only for India, but it's overall for a global, global aspect, because they play a very major role, not only IT and BT and many other aspects. We need to go into the manufacturing India needs to do that. So if they want to accomplish and achieve the $5 trillion goal as per Prime Minister Modi. So we as a SME, US India SME Council would like to play a major role helping and assisting the Karnataka and India at large. Thank you once again, and God bless you.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I know. Go on.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Rajan, you're there?
Thank you all.
Alicia.
Yes, I'm here. Wait. Yeah. Rajan is there. Yeah. Bopana, what are they?
Who else is there?
Nobody else. ఉన్నారు జస్ట్ ఒక నిమిషం ఆగండి అయ్యిన అది ఎవరిది బోపన్న బోపన్న ఈస్ దేర్ ఐ థింక్ రాజన్ ఈస్ దేర్ దట్స్ ఇట్ మీరు
ఇంకా వేరే వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు కదా,
ఏమంటారు?
ఇంకా వేరే వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు, కొన్ని పేర్లు కనబడుతున్నాయి.
ఎవరు ఉండరు, కొంతమంది ఉన్నారు. ఆగండి, చాలా మంది ఉన్నారు. About 100 people. మిగతా వాళ్ళకి అదే ఆయన పక్కన అందుకు అడుగుతున్నాడు ఆయన.
Disconnect.
ఇక
Can you see me?
Yeah, I can open Miss voice.
Yes.
Open it. Sorry. Okay. Now you can. Rest all gone.
No, still somebody is there in the government.
Government? No. Nobody is there.
Huh?
Yeah, nobody is there.
Okay. Anyway, good. Alicia, it went off very well. Good show. And let us talk tomorrow in the morning then, leisurely.
మీరు మూడు కనెక్షన్స్ ఉండి ఎందుకు తీసేయండి. మీకు 3-4 కనెక్షన్ ఉండే అక్కడ. మీ అందుకనే రీసౌండ్ వస్తుంది మీది. మీరు ఎవరెవరికో ఇచ్చారు కదా, అవి తీసేయి, అవి కట్ చేసేయండి. ఇంకా ఉంది.